much different place, a different team completely. I don't think you carry over good or bad, other than really experience that we have coming back. This will, on both sides of the ball, 6 on defense and 6 on offense. Guys that are going into their 4th year, and we've got 29 players that have started a game at Oklahoma that are returning, along with 14 transfers that are all starters and bring production and experience as well. So as we know, a year ago, one of the craziest years that I know I've been a part of when it comes to injury, 15 scholarship players that were out for the whole year, 9 of them starters, 2 on defense and 7 on offense. The byproduct of that was gaining a lot of experience, and guys incrementally improving, getting better. I think that's going to really help us foundationally, going into what we've seen this spring, this summer. Feel fantastic when you look at that experience that's coming back. It really, even a guy like John that's new to Oklahoma, he's not new to football, and he's not new to leadership. He's not new to this offensive system. And so we looked at it as a staff. This was our best summer when it comes to our summer practices that we do. We don't practice every day with the players. They're working and they're conditioning. They do player run stuff, but we, twice a week, we're with the players and have a pretty extensive schedule. And, we really like where we're at right now. From a leadership, I think that there's more depth to the depth of the players that are invested in the program, that are they have real ownership in the product. It shows, and so it's a confident group of guys. Believe it or not, I know it's hard to say that coming off a year that there was a lot of disappointment when it comes to our overall record, but it's a confident group of guys, and I think the confidence at the end of the day comes from a body of work since dating back to last January. And we have tremendous chemistry. And I think one of the things that's most different than from a year ago, I look at, and I really love the group of players that we've brought in that are new, both freshmen and the transfers. Coach Arbuckle and the offensive staff have done a wonderful job of creating culture through relationships, through connection, and just being passionate and bringing a lot of energy every day, demanding excellence and the details that success requires. And then again, probably John Mateer makes everybody around him better. And on the offensive side of the ball, he immediately was able to plug in and have a real impact, certainly on that side of the ball, but really even on the defensive side. So if that's a more competitive practice last year, there wasn't a lot of competition. The defense was really dominant. And this year, the offense has been able to punch back from almost the very first practice, and that's what you want. That's when you feel like you have a pretty good team. When there's ebbs and flows, there's back and forth. You're never happy with anything because again, everybody's having some success and failure as well. And so as a byproduct, it's really our team is elevated, and I think that John, some of the other explosive playmakers that we've been able to bring in on offense, and Jaden Ott, some of the receivers, I think our tight end group is deeper and more capable of what we were a year ago. And the offensive line as well, we had 3 transfers that have come in, and Derek Simmons and Luke Boklenko as well, and then Jake McCula that didn't get here until several weeks ago from Stanford, combined with the group of guys that we have back. I think we've got great leadership. I think we have a toughness with this group of guys that really run towards the hard work, and then really excellent competitive spirit with the guys. They like to compete.
Well, you were talking about John Mateer, so Ben Arbuckle, let's ask about your quarterback. What have you seen from him now in a new setting? You're putting in a new offense here, but one you're familiar with, and it makes a big difference when you have a guy that's been in that system for a couple of years, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it makes a huge difference. And, I think the best thing about John is that I've known him for 3 years now, and what everyone at Oklahoma knows about John and gets to see from John, I've gotten to watch the whole process develop into the kid that he is, the player and the young man that he is today. And, you know, the best thing that I truly think about John is he has a way of galvanizing the people around him to push towards a common goal, right? Pull the rope in the same direction. And he's smart, he's intentional, he has a great spirit about him that guys, not only on offense, but as Coach alluded to, guys on defense, our kickers, our deep snappers, our coaches, right? They draw to him. They want to. I want to work harder for John Mateer. These kids want to play harder for John Mateer, and he in turn does the same thing. He wants to be better for his teammates, always constantly trying to find ways to better himself physically and mentally and spiritually, because he knows the best version of himself is the best version for Oklahoma. And so that's how he brings it every single day, the mindset that he has every single day, and just having him around, having him in the building, it's special. And I'm thankful to be able to go in year 3 with the guy, and I'm thankful that OU gets year 1 with him. So
let's, Coach Bates, let's just kind of get all of your thoughts on your quarterback, and then we'll move on to another subject. But Coach Venables mentioned, even from the defensive side, you've noticed a change. So what have you noticed about the offense with John, and how much stress has he put on your defense?
Well, man, he's an answer and a problem. He's an answer for our team, a problem for whoever he's going against, and that just so happens to be us at practice. So he's brought leadership, the person that he is. You know, his talent speaks for itself. He can run and throw. So he's really, you know, I got an acronym for his name, Mateer. All right, my attempt to earn everybody's respect, and it was successful. All right, he's earned everybody's respect. And when you're a real leader, that's what you want to come in and earn from day one. And our D-line, our linebackers, and our DBs, everybody raves about him. They know they have a dude at that position. And he's made us better and brought us closer together in a short period of time. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do this season.
Yeah, exciting times around, obviously, what John Mateer can bring, but exciting times, Coach Venables, around your defense. You're calling it. What excites you about this year's defense? And a lot of returning names we're very familiar with.
Yeah, just, again, the hunger, the personalities. We have a lot of guys that like to practice. They love to compete. They've got a humility to them, let you coach them hard. But I do feel like Danny was an alpha, and Billy kind of was a quiet assassin, but he demanded excellence from everybody off the field and on the field. I feel like collectively at all 3 levels we have, it's not just one guy, and it's a collective effort. So I like how that's spread out amongst the entire defense, but I think that we have a chance to have a premier player at all 3 levels of the defense, and I think the sum of all of our parts, the experience, having gone through the SEC, what we can do, everything starts up front. We know that this is a line of scrimmage league, and this is a group of guys where you've seen, several players make, tremendous improvement, that far beyond the incremental improvement. We talked about David Stone a lot during the spring, but what I've watched from January and then probably picking up especially in the summers is a guy like Dom Williams. And I've pointed him out several times in front of the team because he's taken everything to another level. And he's from a leadership standpoint, the strain, changed his body. He's 320 plus pounds, and he is moving very fast, very explosive. He's just, his mindset's completely changed. I think that Kendall Daniels jumping into that linebacker group has made everybody better. He's got great versatility, but I really expect Kip and Kobe and Sammy, Owen Heineke, that group of guys, along with Kendall Daniels, to really, collectively play at a really consistent high level. And then I love, we don't have the same depth that we did in the secondary, but I really love the ability of the players, whether it's Eli Bowen, Jacoby Johnson, Gentry Williams. Hopefully he'll play, healthy this year. Kendall Dolby is a guy that obviously we lost after the Tennessee game, broke his leg, and he's one of our best leaders. He's a true alpha, probably our most competitive player and disruptive player that we have on defense. Even though he's a little midget, the guy can play. He plays big, and he thinks he's 7'2" and 250 pounds. That's how he plays. and makes everybody better. And then we have some good young players there, as well. I think we've got good young players in Newcomb and Cortland Gilroy, and then Hawkins and Tristan Haynes as well. But Robert Spears, Mike Boganowski, Peyton Bowen, Man Robinson, Jaden Hardy, Reggie Powers. Those guys they're guys that like to practice, they like to run, they like to hit. And like I said, they let us coach them hard. There's nobody that's sensitive to hard, tough coaching and the demands that we put on these guys. And so that for all of us on defense, that's what it looks like, because they're unbreakable, they let you push them and challenge them, and they're going to respond. And that's when you can tap into all the great skill and all of that. So you got R. Mason Thomas, that's this, explosive pass rush and playmakers there is in college football. I expect him to have his best year of football. And last year was his most consistent year because of health, and, God willing, he stays healthy, have another type of year like that, and then some. And then Taylor Wine is a guy that not a lot of people know about, but he's 275 pounds, he's 6'5", and man, he's got a great motor. He's got excellent pass rush ability right now today. He's got heavy hands, and he likes to work. He's in the building, just like we've bragged on Mateer and several other guys, like a Canick. I bragged on him. Taylor Wine's right there with those guys. We added Marvin Jones, who's coming in from Florida State and Georgia, and we love where Marvin is. Again, as an athletic pass rusher, 6'5" and 260 pounds. He had a really good summer as well. And then PJ Adebarwe, expect him to, finally kind of jump into a comfort zone and where he can really, play at a consistent level. He's had some high ankle sprains, kind of like R. Mason, had a turf toe that he battled, but between him and then you throw in a guy like Danny Okoye, who I've bragged on as maybe, again, pound for pound, our best athlete on our whole football team, that loves to compete, and everything he does is wide open. But this is a group of guys, my favorite players are guys that love to compete, okay, they know how to finish, and a group of guys that allow you to push them and challenge them, and they don't break. And I feel like that's who our defense is this year. How good we be, who knows? How good do we need to be? And I think that we're going to, this will be a year that I think that you see an offense and defense and kicking game, more like the 23 season when we were top 5 in the nation in about every offensive category: scoring offense, total offense, passing offense. We really complemented each other, and and I think you'll see more of that this year.
Coach Arbuckle, the other transfer that everybody's excited about is your running back, Jaden Ott. You played against him, I believe, out on the West Coast. Coach Venables called him a home run hitter at SEC Media Days. What have you seen out of Jaden that you hope he brings to your offense this year?
Yeah, that's a great question. I did get to play against Jaden Ott. If y'all wanted to know, we lost the game. No, Jaden, he's a special kid, and he's a old, mature kid. He's played a lot of football. He's been in the game for a long time. The two biggest things that I've seen from Jaden this summer that he's been with us is this kid is intentional. He is intentional to his work, his teammates, and what it takes to be great, and he's diligent with it. He's diligent to every step of the process. And I believe you combine those two things to a unbelievably talented kid. That's how you get a really, really good football player, right? But he, much like John, he fit into the team and the locker room like seamlessly. He walked in, it's like he'd been here for 4 years, and I think that's one, a credit to the culture that we have in the locker room, but two, I think it talks about the type of kid he is and understanding like, hey, this is my last year to play football. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that we're doing it right. But he, everything from the summer, he's fast, he's explosive, he's very sudden with his movements, can catch out of the backfield. He can do so many different things that allows you to really expand the versatility of your offense. And he's highly intelligent. Throw everything else, he is a highly intelligent football player because he's played so much ball. He's a great asset to our team as a player, as a human being, and we're really excited to have him, and I'm really excited for Sooner Nation to get to watch him play this fall.
Yeah, he's exciting. Would have been one of the top running backs in this year's draft, was one of the thoughts, and there were 2 guys who won the first round, one of them who's going to go win a Super Bowl with the Raiders. So the other thing I wanted to ask Coach Bates about was that defensive line. there is a lot of hype. There's a lot of buzz, there's a lot of talk. I know you keep these guys grounded, but how have you seen them handle people saying good things and people talking them up? How do you see this interior and this defensive line handling the hype?
Man, they put both pointer fingers in their ears and they go to work and they get consumed with the work. And man, I tell you what, man, I'm excited about the way they've went to work all summer. And it was a continuation from the spring. You know, now we get to see the fruits that come from the labor, you know, the results that come from the work, and the readiness that comes from the preparation. And those guys are just focused on getting tighter and getting better at their craft. Like, they can't get enough coaching. They crave it, and they over-deliver on the things that I asked them for. So, I mean, I'm excited about this group. We got a lot of work to do. Fall camp can't get here quick enough. I know we get on that field in about a week. All of them, they're off right now, but they're thinking about, man, I can't wait to start this journey of this season. And because we've got leadership in our group, man. That's been a big part of it. You know, Coach Venables talked about Don Williams and the way that he stepped up and, you know, not only changed his game, but, you know, really tapped into his inners and you know, the things that he would say to the group, encouraging them, you know, leading the witness prior to they got to the adversity. And that's what we're going to need, because at some point in time in the season, we're going to face adversity, and it's going to show us what we're really made of.
Coach Venables, I know you're always looking for motivation. I was with you in Atlanta, and there's a lot of praise out there for your team this year. The defense you got coming back, John Mateer, Jaden Ott, how good the offense could be with Coach Arbuckle, and yet they picked you 10th in the preseason SEC poll. Is that motivation for your team?
I missed the press conference, the piece where you said everybody was praising us. I don't remember that happening. Hey, and justifiably so. I think we got a lot to prove, and you know, and I like that. You know, we know what our team is capable of. I've talked about what we feel like, again, the sum of all of our parts. There's no game on our schedule that we can't win. And I say that straight face, no ball, and we stay healthy, and we continue to develop and improve as the season goes along. And John Mateer don't have to play perfect. He just needs to play well. You're going to beat the teams in our league. You got to play well. But you don't have to play perfect, and we got to complement each other and do the things that winning requires, like take care of the ball, you don't give it back to the other team, and take the ball away, and play well at the line of scrimmage, things of that nature. But yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's a deep league, but we have no intention. Our plan isn't to, you know, finish 10th in the league. You know, our plans are to compete for a SEC championship. And I know our players have put in that kind of work, and that's their mindset. I would be doing, you know, it would be disrespectful for me to say, yeah, it's about right, you know, when it comes to, I know what our players' intent is, I know the work that they've put in, and I know the belief that they have in themselves and in one another, in what this team is capable of. And but that's why you go play the games, and haven't ever had a chance to go back and look at, you know, what the predictions were a year ago, and you know, but we know this, that you know, you earn your way through the you know, field of play, and everything's settled, you know, on game day.
Coach Arbuckle, we saw last year the offensive line, a lot of young guys were forced into work early. Logan Howland, Heath Ozida, and as the season progressed, they improved, and now you bring in some young studs out of the recruiting. Coach talked about the portal. In the spring, you talked about a hungry group. What have you seen from that offensive line as it tries to gel and really become a difference maker for this team?
Our offensive line all summer, you know, the spring was great. They were a hungry group. They wanted to get better. Our offensive line all summer, I mean, I would challenge to say there's probably been no group that has consistently been in the building together more than the offensive line. That's what it takes, right? It takes those 5 guys on the field all being in mesh, having a great chemistry at the same time. They sit there, they watch film together, they watch cut-ups together, they watch cut-ups from the spring, they watch cut-ups from the NFL, different ways of, okay, hey, we have this call on right here, how would we pick this up? And they're working through the communication of it. And so what I've seen from them this summer heading into this fall camp is a group who is fighting every day to get on the same page. And there's no position more important than offensive line at that exact thing, fighting to get on the same page. And everything from our older guys who have really been leading those meetings and taking the charge with it, to our younger guys buying in and completely investing into what these older guys are trying to feed into them. And so I've been really, really proud of the work that they've put in this summer, the cohesion that they are building, and it's been a lot of fun to actually watch, and I can't wait to get out in fall camp and really watch, like Coach Bates said, the fruits of their labor start to come, into fruition. And so they've been great this summer. I'm excited about that group and ready to roll.
Chris is headed out in the crowd. If you got a question, we'll take 2 or 3. Raise your hand. Coach Bates, I want to ask you specifically about the defensive tackles. Dom Williams, Grayson Halton, David Stone, Jaden Jackson. These guys were good, really good for you last year. Who do you see taking a step forward this year? And is there somebody we're not talking about that you feel like could be a factor in that crew?
Well, David Stone is not a newcomer, but he has shown all the things that he's going to take the next step, and really, is on the verge of a breakout. I mean, I expect him to. That's just his development. He's put in the work. He's up there like a coach, studying tape. And so that's just naturally going to happen for him as long as he keeps working. And, I'm excited about Trent Wilson. I'm excited about, getting Marcus Strong back whenever he's able to get back with us. And just excited about those guys, that group. And it starts with our, trying to make our the common knowledge in the room, whatever the top knowledge in the room is. And that's where Dom, Williams and Grayson Halton and, Jaden Jackson have done a tremendous job of leading the group, and just getting those guys up to speed, and not just teaching them the playbook, but teaching them culture. Letting my taillights be your headlights. That sort of mindset every day. I'm going to make you better in all realms of life, and that's what our group is trying to do.
All right. If you guys have questions, hold your hands up. Get a couple. By the way, Trent Wilson, like a grown man. We interviewed him on signing day. Coach is like a 30-year-old. He gets it. All right, we got a question over here from the Cavens group. All right, go ahead.
What do you guys do to give back to the community, and do you have any projects going on right now?
That's a good one. Coach Venables.
What do you do to give back to the community, Coach? What do you encourage your coaching staff and probably players to do to give back to the community? What do I do to give back to the community?
Yeah, it's very important. Norman is this amazing community that supports the university community in such amazing ways, but it's, today's cause. And, this is an amazing organization. We do things through our foundation. Julie and I have a foundation called 212, and 100% of the proceeds are all donated to local charities, and then through Norman, and then also Oklahoma City community as well. We we helped with the foster children in the state of Oklahoma. We built 300 beds in our off week, during our bye week a year ago. There's a law that says, in order for siblings to stay together, every foster child has to have their own bed. So we made bunk beds, 300 bunk beds one day. But every year we do a couple of different service projects to give back to the community, both in the spring and then during the fall as well. And try to, again, make sure our players have a great understanding, coaches as well, that, how much of a joy it is to be able to be at a place like Oklahoma with a platform that we do, and just to try to pay it forward and use the platform the right way to impact other people.
We got one more, Toby, from all the way back here in the corner with Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Coach, there's been a lot of talk about the incoming transfer receivers, but what about the guys that were here from last season? How are they looking going forward?
Great question.
Wide receivers.
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, you said there's been a lot of talk about the transfer wide receivers, but what about the guys who have been here, and how are they looking moving forward? So again, the guys that have been here and who I'm looking forward to moving forward, I think the first one that really pops into my head is a guy who was here last season who got a little bit banged up, but his name's Deion Burks. Deion is explosive. He's a big play waiting to happen. He's a really smart kid too. He's one of those kids who picked up on the new system like that, and I think it was a testament to, one, the retention that he's able to have, but two, that retention came with lots of film study, lots of work, and learning from his mistakes, right? So Deion Burks, he's a fun player to get to coach. He's going to be fun to figure out how to get the ball in his hands in an assortment of different ways. But he's been great. Another one who I've enjoyed seeing the growth in the 7 months that I've been here is Zion Kearney. He's a kid. Whenever I showed up in the bowl game, he was still really young, was kind of thrusted into a little bit of action. And over the last 7 months, I've seen big strides in his game, more so in his confidence than anything. I try to remind him every day, like, hey man, you're a big dude out here. Like he's 6'2", 215 pounds, and he can move and he can catch and he can run. And I try and reinforce that into him every single day, like, hey man, you are a big joker out here who has big time player written all over him. And he buys into that, and he puts the work in to go out there and make those plays during practice. So those two guys off the top of my head are two guys that I think have done a really good job in the 7 months that I've been here, and two guys that I'm really excited to see get on the field in fall camp and in the fall and go make some big time plays.
What about the transfers? Is there one of those that's jumped out and caught your eye?
Yeah, with the transfers, the first one that pops up to my head is Isaiah Centenia. Right, he's not the biggest guy in the world. He's one of those guys. It's when you need something done right, you look to Isaiah, okay? Because he's mentally tough. He's really smart. He's played a lot of football, but he's just a guy that I think every single person in the building trusts. Right, and he constantly shows up in practice. You'll be sitting there watching film, and it's like, well, Isaiah had 4 big plays today. Holy crap! And he did it really quietly. And so Isaiah Centenia has been awesome. But a lot of those transfer receivers, they bought in immediately. They didn't want to be someone who got left behind because of a learning curve or something like that, and so they jumped in, they hopped in, and they had a great spring ball. They had a great summer camp, and looking forward to continuously building that with them going into the season.
Final question, if we could get a quick thought from each of you on this, we'll let you go, but nobody's looking past Illinois State. However, September 6th, Michigan Wolverines are coming to town, and that's going to be a big deal. How much does that game, Coach, do you anticipate that helps you focus your team in the fall camp, just knowing Michigan's looming?
Yeah, that game's coming quick, and obviously Michigan has a long history and storied tradition, very much like Oklahoma, and they won the national championship just a couple of years ago, and they might have been one of the hottest teams in college football the last 4 games of the season, beating Ohio State on the last regular season game of the year, which is the eventual national champion, and then beating Alabama in their bowl game as well. They had several players that didn't play in the bowl game, but they've recruited really well. Sharon, the former Sooners, have recruited very well. They've got a great foundation. They've got culture. They've got some experience coming back, and I know the mindset's going to, what that looks like from their standpoint. Tough physical challenge, but they've got great skill guys everywhere as well. And but it's going to be a great litmus test for us too, and getting us ready for the SEC. Great challenge. It'll be on the biggest stage, that weekend in college football. And our guys have been, talking about the season and what's in front of us and the work that it requires. Certainly that game has grabbed, our attention, the excitement for our guys. They're really looking forward to that, and the many other, big time, stage games that we're going to play all year long.
Coach Arbuckle, Coach Bates, any thoughts you'd like to add on Michigan in week 2?
What an opportunity. I echo everything that Coach Venables said, but what an opportunity. John Mateer, for instance, was sitting in my office, and he said, this is why you come play at Oklahoma. Right? You're on the biggest stage, you want to play the best. He's like, we'll get to see week 2. And that's how I see it. Just what an opportunity. You come here for those opportunities, and our guys have been locked in all summer with it.
Physicality. I mean, you got to be looking forward to that. Defensive tackles, I coached one of the most physical positions on the field at all times, and that's always our goal, is to be the most physical, and that's what we got to do. So, and that's in practice, that's in games, and man, Michigan, they play the same type of ball. They want to run the ball downhill. And so we'll have our hands full, man, but we're looking forward to it.
No, those uniforms, folks, the crimson OU jerseys, the white Michigan jerseys with the helmets under the lights in prime time, it's going to be special.